Yeah, all right, well, I'll put that out the way. All right. Here we go. Let's see, I'll just move all my stuff out of the way so we can start. Hello everyone, welcome to my first live stream. Oh, thank you, I'm on. It's just a tiny little delay, I think, between me talking and you guys responding, so I've just got to work with that. All right, I'm here for my first live stream. Well, my second live stream, but first official live stream. The other one was a bit ad hoc. I've got a pile of things here that I can show you and demonstrate stuff on. I've got my new Procolour, Derwent Procolour pencils, and I'll give you like a quick rundown of those. We'll do a little bit of colouring, I think, in Seasons. I've been looking at the pictures. I'm presently colouring one to review Seasons, but I have picked one that we can sort of like make a start on colouring. That one there, if you've got the book, it's called Tidevarv in Swedish and Seasons in English. It's the Hannah Carlson fourth book that she's producing. She's producing another one. God, that woman is amazing. Okay, rightio. Let's get started then. I've got my cup of tea here. Now I won't tip it over and show you, but it's the one that I've been showing. It's one of my favourite ones. It says "Now panic and freak out" for those keep calm and carry on ones. Okay, rightio. I think we've had some questions from my patrons, and I'd like to thank my patrons. Very kind. They have allowed me. Their support has allowed me to continue on with my colouring and be able to present your live stream. Hopefully you'll notice, the people who were here last time will notice that the quality of the video is much better because we've got a new little camera up there. Oh, Kelly, thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you. I appreciate that. And okay, now also I'd like to say a shout out thank you to Michelle and Rachel and Royce. I've received your gifts. They're very, very kind. I filmed them as a Happy Mail opening so that everybody can share the fun of me opening up these gifts. And I think I've got a few questions. Now I have got my support here, hubby, who's been setting up all the technical side here. He's going to read them out to me and I will try to answer them.
So the first question comes from Casey Yu, I presume. How do you pick colour schemes for a picture that has a lot of elements in it without having it end up look like a messy, chaotic mess? Thank you.
Okay, right, let's see, okay, right. Let's take a complicated picture here now to show you an example. This is my Creative Cats colouring book. It has got lots of wonderful pictures in it that are very, very chaotic. And when you look at them, you think, okay, how am I going to design colours around that? But basically, you stick to the same principles that I used for in the explanation on the first episode of Colouring the Grasshopper, that you pick a colour scheme with a select set of colours, colour scheme with a select set of colours that all look good together, and you kind of stick with it. You can add other colours to it, but you stick with those as the main colours. And I'll show you what I mean. If we go to one of my pictures that I've finished in here, this one here. Now again, this is a chaotic looking picture with lots of elements in it, but I've selected a colour scheme which has been the this dark red here, this very dark blue, the grey and the gold, and there are the basic colours that I've stuck to. And I've used variations of those colours in the picture, like I've made a bit more orange here and added the red in that little piece there, but and made a bit more orange here. So I've but I've not really very, very far from the original palette that I selected. So you can make a large chaotic picture look quite in harmony with itself and pleasing to the eye just by sticking with a smaller palette, even though the picture has a lot more elements in it. Another example, this is one I'm working on at present. This is I'm picking beach type colours, summery, warm, bright colours, sorry, not bright colours, but more cool colours. I've got these lovely teal colours for the ocean and the sky, and a bright yellow. So I've stuck with a palette, and when I colour in all the elements of this picture, I'll be using variations of these colours in it. I've also got a brown here to offset and give it a bit more of a bump, but I've selected the brown, a type of brown that's in harmony with the rest of the picture. And also the other important thing to do once you've selected your colours, as I said again in the first episode of the grasshopper video, is you've got to take a sketchbook or piece of paper or something and draw the rough drawings. I don't think my rough drawings for the grasshopper are in this one, but basically, yeah, the idea is the same. You just pick your colours and you draw very roughly. You don't have to be an artist, just blocks. Just do blocks and circles to represent the major elements of the picture, and experiment which colours go where. Do some little thumbnails and just experiment which colours go where to sort out where you want the eye to travel to. Like here, you want the cat's face to be sort of like a main point. The eyes, people are usually drawn to the eyes anyway. And so I've got this bright yellow in the sun to sort of help you draw the eye to the cat's face, and that will help bring the picture into harmony. I hope I've answered your question. Now I can show you another example or two in here. This is another one, another big chaotic looking picture, and yet again I've chosen purples, pink, green and burgundy reds to be the main colours, and all that you have seen here are just variations of those colours to bring it all into harmony. Okay, I think I've answered that question. Let me know if you want any more clarification on that. And have we got another question there?
This one is from Antonia Wooten. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So my question is...
That's okay, Casey. Anytime. Sorry, she just thanked me for answering the question. Keep going.
How do you decide where to put those little different swatches of colour that are pink and green?
Ah, right. Now, I think you are referring to this picture here. This is the picture that I am currently using my Derwent Procolour pencils to colour, and I've chosen like a sort of like a bokeh sort of background. I wanted to give it a try. Now I didn't plan exactly where the colours were. This is where sort of like you've got to go with the feeling of what looks best at the time. I wanted the emphasis to be on the chicks here. Hang on, I'll put that in the centre so you can see. I wanted the emphasis to be here. This is the point that people are going to look at, which is the two chicks facing each other. So I had to draw the eye to it. So what I've done is I've used the this pink, which is very bright, to bring the eye down to the chicks. So most of this white, sort of lighter shading, is around the chicks to frame them, and then it sort of like drifts up here and it gives it kind of a bit of a magical effect. Now the actual placing of the pinks, I just really just went with the flow. I knew I had to leave the space in between the chicks' faces clear, but I wanted to give a nice slightly chaotic but harmony sort of look. So I've made sure I've not placed any of the pink spots too close to each other, but I've just scattered them about. And really, while I was colouring, I thought, oh, a bit of pink would look good there, a bit of pink would look good there. Because I wanted the emphasis to remain in the centre here, the sides of the picture down here, I might add a little bit of purple here, not too. For some reason we went offline, but I think we're back again now. I don't know how much of my yapping that you missed, because hubby is monitoring the feed at present and making sure everything sort of like stays online. Going back to here, I was saying that I leave the lighter colours and all the bright colours in the centre, leading down to the chicks, so that you get the focus of the eye goes to these chicks, and the dark bottle sort of, you know, cold greens at the sides, so to funnel the person who's looking at the picture, to funnel their view down towards the chicks. So as I was saying, the pink I just scattered about the place, sort of like within the zone that I'd picked for this little trail of light to come down. I hope I've answered your question there. All right, is there another question? Okay, all right.
Nothing else on your list here.
Okay, well, I will sort of flick over to this page here, and I don't want to do the chicks online because I'm actually filming it for a for a review, for speed colouring and a review, so I haven't got my camera.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Cables come out. Internet's gone down.
Oh no.
Yep, internet's gone down.
Oh shit.
I can't do anything about it.
Because I'm seeing a live chat here, but it's delayed. In fact, everything. Okay, well, it looks like we're back on. I'm sorry, it looked like our internet went down for some reason. I'm just going to carry on here then. Oh, one thing I wanted to show you before I start colouring is I've been working on experimenting with a small palette. For people who don't have many pencils, I've got this little Derwent Studio set. There you go, and all it is the 12 pencils. Doesn't have a white. This was actually given to me by my mother-in-law. It's an old school supply that wasn't used, and I've been experimenting on what you can do with colouring with just a tin of 12 pencils, and I can show you the results in my here we go. This is Enchanted Forest, but I take the cover off because this is one with a dust cover, and I store the dust cover so it doesn't get damaged. Here we go. As you can see, this is my test page at the back that I mutilate with all sorts of things. But here we are. And this was done completely with just the Derwent Studio 12 pack. And I got all those colours just by mixing these colours. I had my little art diary on the side here, and oops, there we go. I experimented with different colour mixes, blends with the Derwent Studio colours to see how I could create other colours. And I found mixing with I think it was the purple with the light blue gave me this beautiful rich purple colour for the background of the image. So if you've only got a 12 pack of pencils, you can certainly produce nice art anyway. You don't need to have the 120 sets, or was it 150 sets that Prismacolor come in. You can just manage on small amounts. I've got another picture here. Where is it? This one here. Yuha, look, there's a duck pond. This frog, again, was all done with just the Derwents, mixing the background and all the colours, just using these colours. I did have a little bit of paint on here to start off with, the green and some of the yellow in the flowers, but everything else is just these guys. Okay. Okay, right, now we'll get back to what I really want to talk about, which are the Procolours. Okay, right, Procolours, as you can see, they come in a set of 72. The colours are similar to the selection in my 30-year-old Derwent sets, with some differences. I'm missing the lovely teal colour in this set that they've decided to take out. There's a lot of these very, very light pencils, and they are almost white when you use them. Probably very good for burnishing if you don't want to use white for burnishing, but or very light spots. Or lightening the other pencils, but to use them on their own, they're hardly, you can hardly see them on the paper. Now, when you get them, if you are going to get them, I do recommend you sharpen them before use, because even though they come sharpened, the tip is very dull, and you won't get a good indication. Oh, Dana, thank you very much, Dana. It's just come up on my feed that you've done a little donation. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm sorry if I missed anybody else popping those up. I'm sort of looking in two places at once here, and there is a delay on the live chat between the time you type it and the time I see it. So I will try and respond as much as I can, but I can't really do this and read them all at the same time, but I am trying. Multitasking here. Anyway, as I said, sharpen them before use, or else you won't get a good impression of just how good they lay down. They are softer than the Derwent Artist, and I think they're a little bit softer even than the Polychromos. What I've done with them so far, I like. Haven't done very much. I've only really done that picture I showed you, but we'll start on this one anyway. Now, is there any people out there that have also got their page open who want to have a go at this as well with me? I know you won't, or very few of you will have access to Polycolours just yet. They only were launched in August, so I've got my Prismacolors here handy, waiting, and I will try to match the colours for you so that people who do want to colour along, I'm afraid I can only do the one set, because if I try to match all my different sets of pencils, we're going to be here all day, which may not be a bad idea, but I've actually got other commitments I've got to attend. Okay, let's see now. The first thing is planning the picture. Now, I've already got a plan in mind. I want a sort of a stormy purpley background. I'm thinking I might go for the standard sort of a reddish coloured mushroom here, and I'll do these two little guys in their natural colours, and I'll see what I feel like when we get down here for accent colours. Procolour is a wax-based pencil, thank you very much. They are not watercolour pencils, so they will not activate with water, and where the Polychromos are oil-based, these are wax-based, and I think most of the Derwent range are wax-based pencils. They feel a little bit dry when you're working with them, but they do lay down really, really nicely. And we will start with colouring the inside of the toadstool here, or the mushroom. I'll just separate my colours. I'm organising my desk. I've only got a little area to work on here. Here we go. My hubby is taking questions, so he will show me the questions when you post them, and I will try to answer them as best I can. Rightio. Okay, you're welcome, Cynthia. Try to answer some people. Okay. Now, the inside, I like to use sort of like dark chocolatey brown colours. And hang on, you know what I haven't got here? I haven't got my all-important... where did I do with it? Little colour book, which I should have put up here ready for this, and I can't see what I've done with it. That is my sacred book of colours, which is where I list. Aha, found it sitting underneath the Prismacolors. Sorry, the Polychromos. This is my book Bible. If I flick through here, you can see, whoops, where are we? There we go. There's the Derwent Procolours all swatched out there in their different colours. So if I compare it to, there's my polychrome, no, polychromus, my bum. There is my, yeah, there's my polychromous ones. So you can see the colour laydown is pretty similar to the two of them. The Derwent, now, when you say less waxy, it depends on what feature of waxiness you're talking about. If you're talking about that soft, crayon-y sort of feel, yes, they're definitely less of that than the Prismacolours. They feel, as I said, they feel very similar to the polychromous, but slightly drier to use. Okay, anyway, Derwent Procolours. I'll try and match some colours here by flicking backwards and forwards. So I am after the, I think we'll go for the chocolate to start off under here. So the chocolate in the Derwent Procolour is very similar to the walnut brown in the polychromous. So I'll go looking for it. It's in here somewhere. Where are you? Okay, now I haven't sharpened this one yet, so I'll just grab my sharpener and give that a whiz. I love this sharpener. Give it a little turn around, and I've got a decent point on it now. Just a tip with your sharpeners, every so often take a cheap graphite pencil and run it through the sharpener as well. This is just a really cheap Montmartre grey lead pencil, which I would never use because I don't like it. And I just use that to break the tip off, so scrub the tip off, and then I give it a run through this. And the graphite just lubricates and cleans the grinding wheels in there. Okay, anyway, Procolour chocolate. So we're going for the chocolate, and then we will lighten it up to the Van Dyke brown. Now the Van Dyke brown, very similar colour to Nougat in the polychromous. So I'll go looking for my Van Dyke brown. So I have got it handy. I hope my voice doesn't completely disappear where I'm leaning across here. It's kind of sepia. Of course, I could be really clever and turn all the pencils around so I can see the colours, but there we go. So I can see the colours, but when I'm working with them, I'm sort of like throwing the pencils backwards and forwards, and I often end up with just a pile of pencils sort of like surrounding me like a haze when I'm finished, and I have to sort them back out into their places. Don't know, does anybody else have that problem? Okay, right. I'll start with a light layer on the chocolate. Right, polychromous. I'm using the polychromous pencils, Leslie. Oh, sorry, I'm not using the polychromous. I'm using the Procolour pencils, but I'm giving you the colours in the Prismacolour for anybody else who wants to join me in doing this. We're only going to get a little bit done today because there's being on live stream is a big distraction. Now I'm starting off with just going carefully around the edges of this little bumpy frill and just giving a soft layer, don't go hard to start off with, of the chocolate colour in the Derwent. Okay. Yeah, I'm a bit of a pencil slob. I just get really into the colouring, and sort of like my brain sort of forgets everything else, and I'm just snatching up and putting down pencils. And yeah, the only time I pause is if I get stuck on what to colour next in a certain area. You can see I'm just gradually bringing that pencil colouring out here. You're surrounded by pencils too. I'm neat so far. By the end of this, I won't be so neat. That's Mandy I'm responding to there. Yeah, Derwent pencils, prior to the colouring craze, Derwent pencils were perhaps the most, it's the one that really the only professional artist pencil that you really saw around unless you went into art shops. Other than that, you were with the Faber-Castell Classics were very popular, and we also saw a lot of, what's the other one that you see? Let's see, can't think of a very, very common kids colouring. They do lots of different colouring supplies, but that's the other one you saw. And it'll come to me probably after the video. Okay, the Staedtlers. Yeah, I don't really care for the Staedtler pencils. I know they've got a nice sort of like more professional set that comes in this real jazzy container, which I haven't tried, but certainly I must admit that the ones that they produce for children, or or student quality, are pretty terrible actually. I've got a small pack of 12 of them, and I don't like them at all. They've got lots and lots of filler in it. Feels like, and very little pigment. I believe they were designed for children so that they could be easily cleaned off things if kids sort of like scribbled on the walls or something. I heard something about that, but yeah, other than that, I can't tell you anything about the fancier type of Staedtlers. Yeah, the Academy is the student brand of the Derwents there. Sorry, I keep looking up to see. Okay, Grace, which one is my favourite brand of pencil? Well, okay then, that would have to be the Faber-Castell Polychromos. It's the pencil, for plain pencils, it's definitely the one I use the most. I haven't done too much of these Procolours yet, so I can't really give you a good comparison with the polychromes. But to tell you the truth, I'm enjoying colouring this. I'm only doing a very light colour of the Procolours, but it's really nice. They have very nice pencils to use so far. I'm really happy with them. So they could be contenders for the crown currently held by Polychromos. Now, okay, right. I don't know how to zoom on the live stream yet. My hubby is looking into it. I know there is probably a way of doing it, but we're sort of like live stream newbies here, and everything, we're sort of like still battling the technical issues. And yeah, we will sort these out later live streams. We'll have all these problems resolved, hopefully. But so far so good. I think what we've got right now is working okay. But zooming now, I'm so sorry I can't do the zoom. If you've got pain in your hands, I would suggest using a softer pencil, in which case go for the Prismacolors, because they are super soft and they are definitely the softest. Or you can go for the Derwent Colour Soft, which are also very, very soft pencils. Right, I've got the first layer of this chocolate down. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to just come in with the Van Dyke Brown, and which is for you guys using the Prismacolors will be the, what did I say, the nougat. Nougat. I'm going to put in a little layer starting at the edge as well, and kind of bleed it up into the chocolate there. This is a bit warmer than the darker colour that we're using. It's a warmer, lighter colour. There we go. Okay. How many hours a day do I colour? Oh, as many as I can.
Too many.
It depends on the day. There are days when I don't get to colour at all, and there are days where I'll get like 2 or 3 hours that I can sit and play, and that's just wonderful. And I've got this wonderful excuse now, is that I'm actually making videos, so I have to. It's my job. Okay. Yeah, the Luminance pencils are Grace. The Luminance pencils, again, are a very soft set of pencils. I was very lucky. Hubby bought me the full set as a surprise because I've been pining for them. They have a different personality, I think, is the way to put it, to other pencils. They are super professional, and they are designed for artists who do their own work, you know, pencil artists. And so their range looks a bit funny when we can compare them to the sorts of pencil ranges that we're used to. They have a whole set of these very light dilutes in the bottom tray, I think it is. And I love them actually using these books, and I'll show you why. Actually, if I've got it here, this is a picture I don't think I've posted yet anywhere, but this is using the Luminance pencils. Where is it? Find it. Actually, I've got two here. That one, I hope that's in camera there. That's the Luminance pencils. Now just look.
Zoomed in, so.
Just look at these greens. And they're so easy to achieve. These really bright, deep, dark greens. This lovely olive green happening here. All the colours are very, very bright and in your face. But I found they're quite waxy, and you have to go lightly with them to start off with and not put too much pressure on them. They do layer beautifully though, so yeah. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like that one. So I love, love, love using the Luminance in this book. In fact, these two pictures here were also done with Luminance pencils, and as you can see, it's so easy to get those startling bright colours. Let's see now. In contrast, these are the Polychromos pencil, and still absolutely beautiful, but when you compare the depth to the Luminance pencils here, I don't know, is that in picture there? I'll stick it in the middle, of the colour of these greens to sort of like these greens here. These were much easier to achieve than working with the Polychromes. I mean, I like the Polychromes. There's nothing wrong with this, and I really enjoyed it. The problem, I think the Luminance, though, were a little bit less forgiving than the Polychromes as well because of the thick, dark way they lay down. But yeah, I do like the Luminance pencils, and the Luminance white is just wonderful. I actually keep a Luminance white in with several of my other sets because it's so much better for putting a white over colours to lighten them down a little bit. That's one thing I do with my sets of colours. I've got my Polychromos here, and you'll see that there are other colours. There's the Luminance colour here. That's the they're very hard to read, these ones, aren't they? It's just this. That's olive yellow, and I put that in there because Polychromos doesn't have an equivalent for that in their range. And here again, the Derwent, I think I was raving about this about a year ago, the water green colour from the Derwent Artist range, I also keep in. So even though I have my main set in here, I also keep extra pencils from other sets that that the Polychromos doesn't have, so that I still feel like I've got a good set of pencils. I don't mind mixing my pencils up a little bit like that. I think the only thing that sort of like limits me is just the space to lay out all of the pencils. Oh, Casey! Oh heavens! Seriously? Oh, thank you very, very much. Casey just made a donation. That was wow. Okay, thank you very, very much. That's oh, thank you. I don't know what to say. Yeah, Luminance is great to blend with Polychromos, so I agree, Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Okay, yeah, oh, it's you. Yeah, oh, I'm glad you can make it. Okay, the Staedtler rotary sharpener. I haven't tried one of those. I do like the rotary sharpeners, though, particularly with the Prismacolors, because the Prismacolors are really very, very, very soft, and it's easy when you've got them in a pencil sharpener to torque the core of it. That's what I'm talking about. That's the core of the pencil, the colour bit. When you torque it, sort of like the sharpener edge is putting pressure, twisting pressure on the core and causing the core to snap. That's when you sharpen, you take it out, and the little bit of core falls off, and you go, ah, I paid big money for that pencil, and now it's, you know, so like I've only got about 2 inches of it left. These ones don't torque the core because they grind the pencil down instead of just shaving the pencil down, and that's why I prefer the rotary sharpeners. Okay. Okay, you're welcome, Grace. Yeah, it's interesting actually when you're looking at all these pencils in the art department, and you think, okay, what are they going to be like? Am I take them home and I'm going to be disappointed or what? I've recently bought some clear gesso to try out because I was interested in trying to watercolor the pages of my books, and of course if you try watercolor it'll crinkle the pages and often it'll leak over to the other side. So depending on how you do it, hang on, I don't have an example of it leaking. I have an example of watercolors. This one you've all seen, I'm sure. Oh, that's another Luminance picture, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, there's that. I like Luminance in these books. Oh, hang on. That's where I'm up to with the Snake Charmer. I've kind of stopped there, but I'm hoping to get the rest of it done this week. I sort of like, I go hell for leather on a picture, and then I sort of burn out on it, and I have to go colour something else for a while. But this one I want to come back to and complete. It's just a matter of filling in the rest. I already know what colours I'm doing. I haven't done the snake yet. I'm going to do him black, a kind of a shiny black snake, I think. Okay. Okay, Moon Ram. Which is more important, the paper quality or the quality of the colouring medium? Oh my goodness, that's I think it's really neck and neck. You can have great pencils, and if you try to colour on rotten paper, for example, I don't want to bag people who print on Amazon, but I really do not like the paper that Amazon uses with their print department, with people who want to print their colouring books through Amazon. I don't like it. I love the pictures on it. The artists who have produced their works that way to enable us to purchase and colour their absolutely gorgeous line art, and the paper is just rubbish. And I find that that's really heartbreaking for me because I'd love to colour on them more, and that's another reason I'm looking at using the clear gel medium. Is I'm looking to see if I can put another surface over the top of the pictures to colour. The other alternative, of course, is to have the pictures printed on different paper or scan them into your computer and then... Oh, goodness me. I apologise, I really do, if that noise from outside is coming through. We have a neighbour next door who every day likes to sit in his car and rev the bejeebers out of it, and I could just shoot him. Okay, I am so sorry about that, I really am. I think hubby's just gone to ask him if he can just delay the revving sequence for a while. It's a daily occurrence. It's so annoying, particularly when I'm setting up to film something and everything's quiet, the rain's stopped, the kids are all settled, the building outside the front, they've gone for lunch or something, and it's all quiet, and suddenly the revving starts. He's got one of these monster friggin' things outfitted like with 3 million like searchlights and stuff, and he doesn't seem to do anything with it. He just sits in his garage and revs the bejeebers out of it. Sorry, almost dropped the C word. As you can see, I'm not happy about it. I'm a bit worried about it, actually. I'm a night shift nurse. I'm currently not at work at present. I'm off work at present, but if I go back to work, that is going to wake me up. Anyway, sorry, my husband seems to have fixed the problem for a minute. Okay, fantastic. Now back to this. This is what I was going to show you. This is where I have actually watercoloured, and I've had to go very lightly. I've used micro-infused paint called twinkling H2Os that you get in little pots like this, like lipstick pots they are. And when I did it, most of the paint stayed on the one side of the paper, but I did get bleed through with the purples, which is why I did this over the top. So because just to hide all the bleed through, because you can, even if you got bleed through spots on the opposite page, you can still work on a colour scheme that will hide it. You know, just go with it and work with it. On this side, I think you can see there's a little bit here around the bottom where the purple and a little bit where the blues come through. So far, my experience with gessos, I'm not really 100% with. The gesso does the job of preventing the colour from going to the other side of the page. I've even tested my alcohol markers on it, and it does work. I advise, if you're going to use it, don't use a paintbrush. Get an old credit card or an old gift card. I've got a couple saved, and scrape the gesso on. You will get a much better finish, okay, because you won't get all the little streaky paintbrush marks in it, and you can just sort of like scrape it on, make sure you get all the edges, and I also advise put a couple of layers on as well, just for safety. But getting back to it, I wasn't happy with the results. I felt that the gesso resisted the watercolour, which meant it wouldn't let the watercolour sink in, so the watercolour just did funny little puddles on top. It did dry and it looked okay, but I couldn't get a smooth finish, so I'm still experimenting with that. Oh, hi Sheila, from Texas. Okay, yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Marsha. Yeah, I work really hard with my colour combinations. As I say, look at real life for them, or look at photographs, or look at Pinterest with palettes. Is a really great way to look for colour schemes if you're stuck. And keep records of them. Keep a little book or something where you actually, you know, sort of like quickly jot down the colour scheme so you can save it, and one day you'll come across a picture and think, oh, that picture will look perfect with this colour scheme, and there you go, you're right to go. Yeah, Kelly, I was afraid of that too, with the alcohol markers being damaged by the gesso. The gesso leaves like a little sandpaper surface, and that does catch on the tiny little fibres in the tip of the marker and just stuffs them up. With the Copic markers, you can buy replacement nibs. You just pull them out and stick a new one in. But all the same, you don't want to be doing that all the time, every time you colour. Okay, low. Oh, right, you get it better on your laptop than your iPad. There you go. If people are having problems with the iPad, maybe switch to a laptop or a mainframe, or your main computer, I should say. Okay, and you're welcome. Yep, we're doing well here. It's nice and quiet now. I can continue, and both my sons are not popping in, so we're good. My daughter's at work. Hi Debbie, Houston, Texas. Hurricane Harvey. Oh, I actually saw something about that last evening, that you had a hurricane coming through. Well, I hope you stay safe and yeah, and survive it all right. We don't tend to get hurricanes down here in Geelong. We can get tornadoes though, small ones. They're called willy willies, actually, which is the Aboriginal word for one of the languages, Aboriginal languages. Willy willy is the word for a tornado. There's about 20 Aboriginal languages, separate languages that is, and there used 90. To be about 90 is. I thought there was only 20 that were well spoken at present. There used 90 to be spoken languages. There used to be 200. Okay. Okay. Hi, Natalie. Okay, oh, that's good, giving each other advice about this. That's fantastic. Good on you guys. Hello, I heard a clunk. That will be one of my sons coming in. Hubby's just gone to sort of give him a warning. That's, yeah, we're streaming here. Hopefully he won't do something silly, but he's pretty cool that way. Okay, Vanessa, how come you're so knowledgeable about how to draw and how colours work, lighting and focal points? No, Vanessa, I didn't go to art school. I have just been drawing and colouring from the moment I could actually hold a crayon. It was just my thing. In like what we call primary school, which children attend in Australia from the ages of 5 to 11. I just got known to be the artist. That was my sort of persona. I was the one who drawed good, and of course I got a lot of positive feelings about my drawing ability, and the more positive I felt about it, the more I drew. And I just drew a lot, coloured a lot, and a lot of this is self-taught. I didn't go to art school. I do research myself. I have books on colour theory, and I access the internet for information. When I was younger, I used to access the local library and borrow books on art, how to do arting. It was mainly oils, but I don't work with oil colours. Watercolours and pencils and how to draw. And I'm self-taught basically, but it's been my passion now for all of my life. I'm quite a few decades old. I don't know, I'm 25, but I've been 25 for 25 years. So you do the math. But that's basically how I did it. Hang on, right. Okay, here we go. Romy, I'm glad my tutorials have been of use to you. And hello, Texas. And Tammy from Indiana, hello to you too. Doreen, Washington State, hi. Sorry, I've probably missed a lot of these. Yeah, there's a lot of Texans here tonight, Elise. Hello, Texas. One day I shall visit your beautiful country. It's on my bucket list. Okay, Grace, thank you. Hello, Deliberately Creative from Vancouver. Oh, Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. Right, does the Moonram, good question. Does the Procolour maintain its point like a polychromos? Well, I can tell you that, going back to this picture, I'm not doing much colouring today. Sorry for everybody who was hoping to get like a tutorial. I'm sort of too busy yapping. We'll have to plan this one out better. On this picture, this green here that I've used for the background, I'll pull it out for you. It was... Okay, it was this one. Next time I'm going to put some little tape down here so I know exactly which area is sort of the focal point. Anyway, this green here, the racing green, which I've used, I have, apart from the initial sharpening when I first got rid of the dull end that the pencil came with. Sorry, Funk, we're sort of setting things up here. I've only sharpened it once for all of this, and so it maintains a point beautifully. In fact, it's probably even a little bit better than the polychromos pencils. It does maintain a very sharp point, so it's great for getting into the little areas, and yet it lays down a boatload of colour, so you can it's really, really good for the pictures which have the smaller details in it. Hang on, I'll stick that one back without tipping all my pencils on the floor. Okay, all right, who else have we got here? Linda from Canada. Okay. And Charisse. Okay, let's pop back to that picture and stick it in the center there. Okay, Goose Creek. Donna, hello from Florida. Linda, Canada. Okay, yes, Texas, I totally agree. Hi, Tammy from Utah. Okay, what am I up to? It's Van Dyke, right? So the lighter of the two browns. So as I was doing, I was gently kind of getting these colours together here. They're not very exciting colours. They're sort of, I should have gone with the reds and nice bright colours to start off with. Okay. I want this nice cool brown here because it's underneath, and sort of like the lighter warm brown because it's towards the edges where you'd see more light hitting it. Okay. Trying to read the... Okay. Still going here. Sorry, I'm just trying to work out my chat feed has stopped working. So sorry if anybody's leaving me messages now and I'm not answering you. It just kind of like decided it wasn't going to work anymore. So hubby is fixing it now. So we've got the laptop facing him, and we've got a little a tablet facing me. Okay, I'm going in with some with another layer. These pencils, by the way, lay like a dream. Now, actually, you know what? I didn't fully answer that question before about what's more important, pencils or paper. I think for me, actually, funnily enough, paper. I find the paper quality is more important. You can get cheap pencils and still do wonderful work on good quality paper, but you can have great pencils, and if you've got really bad paper, it's very hard to, it's more frustrating, time consuming, and yeah, so the type of paper that these books are produced in is very, very, very important to me. I know my friends at the colouring club, hi Jane, reprinted Fantasia on different paper because of the problems they were having with the original book. For one thing, it's very deeply scored with the tear off sort of seam, so that when you're colouring in, it's more likely to just, you know, sort of like fall out. And also I think they prefer the paper quality of that they've handpicked from the place where they got it reprinted from. So yeah, paper, definitely paper for me. But the pencil quality is a close second. Michelle, I don't think Derwent's replacing their range. Derwent is one of those companies that, I mean, they've got so many different types of pencils now. I think they're just happy to expand their the types that they've got available to artists. As far as I know, there's no plans to withdraw the artist pencils. Okay, the paper I especially like to print on. Now that's a difficult question to answer because different brands in different countries actually. For me, there is just a cardstock. I prefer to print on cardstock, but I like to feel the tooth and make sure that there's about the same sort of toothy feeling as you would get in the Hannah Carlzon books. Printer paper, of course, is, well, if you've got nothing else, that is better than nothing. It's always better than nothing. But probably paper that you get in sketchbooks, good quality sketchbooks. As I like cardstock. I can't tell you a particular brand. Sorry, I really can't really answer that question. I mean, my tact has always been to buy a bit of the paper, test it out with my colours, and if I like it, then that's what I buy. Something I said with a very fine tooth, smooth surface, and I prefer slightly off-white. Oh, Janet, good luck to you in hospital. I'm glad I've got something here that can give you a bit of fun and distraction for a while, because, yeah, hospitals can be very boring. Yeah. Yeah, deliberately creative, that comment about reputable companies taking care of you. Yes, that is true. I totally agree with that. And you can tell, you know, a good company cares about its customers. I've had pencils with faults in it that I've contacted the company with by email, and so far I've had really good responses from companies, sort of like offering to send free replacement pencils to replace the faulty one. That reminds me, I've got one pencil that I've got to contact Derwent about. It was the, let me see if I can find it here. Here it is. This one here, the distant green. When I started using it, I noticed there were flecks of brown contaminating the core at the tip, so I've got to email them and let them know. It seems to have gone now, but I had to sort of like sharpen and rub the tip to get the colour. It just looks like some other dye or, you know, pigment had contaminated just the tip of the one of the pencils. So I'm interested to see if anybody else has that experience with the distant green. Okay, all right, do something bright. Let's swap colours. I'll leave that for the time being because the brown is a bit dull. And we will go to colouring the mushroom, hey? Oh. Yuck, my tea's gone cold. There. All right, let's pick some colours for the mushroom. Yeah, I heard that Fantasia has been reprinted and it's a much nicer paper. Yeah, I don't think I'll have a problem with Derwent. I've heard from other people who use the pencils that they are very good at responding to problems and helping fix them. Okay. Let's see now. We will go for, I'm going to colour it in with a sort of a deeper red, like more of a plum colour, and probably bring it up to a sort of, let's see now. I won't go with a yellow highlight because it's a dark day, and because it's going to be a muggy dark day, you don't see many yellows. They're sort of faded out a bit. So I'll go more with a pink at the top here as the highlight, sort of like a softer pink. So the plum colour I'm going to use for the base is a good match for that would be, let's see, I'm talking about this colour here, this plum, and I'm looking for an appropriate one here. Probably a mixture of the, if I was being a perfectionist, I would go for a mixture of the dark red and the red violet, I think. But I think for you guys, we might actually, the red violet might be very interesting. So I'll mix a bit of grape in with the plum, that'll give that colour. Okay, try a bit of red violet mixed with a bit of dark red. Oh, hello, Sexy Bar from Germany. G'day. Hello, Germany. Oh, you're in a rotten time zone, aren't you, for this? You're sort of like middle of the night. Oh, well, I'm sorry about that. It's very difficult to plan a time that's going to be convenient for everybody. Where's that plum colour? Right, here we go. But we're doing the best we can. Tracy, no, I don't have the watercolour pencils by Derwent. I actually don't have a big watercolour set at all. The only watercolours I have are these really old ones, about 30 years old. Other than that, I've got a really small select range of the Albrecht Dürers made by Faber-Castell, which are just really the lighter colours, which I use with my other absolute favourite pencils in all the world, and that is, of course, the Derwent Inktense pencils. Okay, and yeah, I know I forgot my train of thought because I got distracted looking at something else. Sorry, it will come to me if I had to answer more to that. Sexy Bear, have I ever dipped my brush in my tea while painting? Possibly. Yeah, or more commonly, I've got a glass of water in front of me, and of course I've got the glass of water in front of me, and I've also got my glass to rinse off my brush of water, and I pick up my glass, the rinsing glass, and I put it to my mouth. That tastes just okay, right? It's muddy grey colour. That's certainly not my water. Yeah, I am guilty of that. Oh, that was Moonra. Okay, sorry, I got that question mixed up. Thank you, Moonra, for your question. It is true. I am guilty of that. What pencil sharpener am I using, Michelle? I'm using this one by Staedtler here. Doesn't have the numbers of what it is here, but it is a Staedtler sharpener. Okay, and it's one of these crank ones. Okay.
Video about it.
Okay, there's, if you check up on my YouTube channel, there is a video where I review that sharpener. Okay, here we go actually, with the plum. Right, now, with the darker colours, we go down here for the darker colours and we'll go up to the lighter colours. Something like this, an area size this big, I like to go through 3 or 4 colours just because there's a big area and I don't want it to look flat with just one colour in it, and I want to give it the feel of being a rounded surface with the light hitting the top around the edge and the darkness being here in the middle here, because I want my light source to be coming from above, so the light will be here and the dark will be here. If my light source is coming from the front, well then my lightest colours would be here and my darkest colours would be at the edge. So very important that you consider where your light source is coming from before you lay some colour down on the pencil. Another trick I like to do is to actually put in my highlights first, and I did that with the wolf picture that I did in can't think of what it's called now, sorry, brain's pickled right now. If you give me a sec I can go get it, hang on, just talk amongst yourselves. Okay, that one. Right, sorry, I had to dash. Okay, where we go. Here we are. This is the book I am referring to. Now, in this one, before I coloured anything else, I decided I want a yellow light coming from behind, so I put all the yellow in first, and I wanted to bounce off with a contrast colour, so I pretended that there was something purple here, throwing off a purple light, and I put little bits of purple here, just like I was highlighting it, but with the purple. So, and that was before I started colouring any of the picture. I put the highlights, the yellow highlights in this side, the purple highlights in that side, and then I coloured in between, and it gave this very dynamic lighting effect. So that's another trick you can use. Put your highlights in first, work out where your lighting is, put your highlights in first before you start colouring. Highlights, shadows, or in this case another highlight of a different colour coming from a different angle, a bit more complicated, and then colour in between. And then you've already got, it's a bit like grayscale colouring in that you've already got your highlights and your shadows in, and you can just go ahead and colour it and just refine it all. Okay, so hang on, I got sidetracked there again. Here we go. Oh, Rebecca, thank you very much. I'm planning on doing a video in the future where I just go through all my finished works. I think there's a few artists that have done that, and people have responded well. So, okay, I've started with this plum colour. For people who are waiting, I suggest using the red violet with a bit of dark red over the top for people using the polychromes. There may be a better colour. I do not have the full range of polychromos pencils. I've only got the original ones I bought. A beautiful set of 60 that was kindly given to me by one of my viewers, that is tucked away in my store, ready to pull out when the pencils that I'm using start to wear down too far. But I don't have a full set, so there may be colours that are more appropriate, but I don't know. So anyway, with the Procolour, it's the plum colour. So what you're looking for in your other colours, if you're looking, is sort of like that pinky, dark pinky red colour. Yeah, it's a one that I'm planning pretty soon. I hope to have up. There's quite a number of pictures that I've finished that I've actually never shown anybody. I've never published it, which are yeah. So there'll be a few surprises amongst the video of things that you've not seen before, I think. Okay. Are the Neo 2s water-based? The Neo 2s, I actually do have the Caran d'Ache Neo Colour 2s. They're like little crayons, and yes, they are water-based. So they will activate with water, and they will reactivate over the top. So watch it if you're using glazing effects. Okay, Procolours, Tanya, Procolours on the hardness scale. Okay, using them, I will say they are a little softer than the Prismacolors, but not as soft as, oh, nowhere near as soft as those super soft, sorry, wrong way around. They are a little bit softer than the Polychromos, but nowhere near as soft as the Prismacolor pencils. But I like Prismacolors, but I find they're a little bit too soft for the right fine stuff that I'm going to do. They're great if you want to go in hard and heavy and have really bright colours, but I like to do lots of soft layering. So to me, these Procolours a little bit softer than the Polychromos, certainly a lot softer than the Derwent's other artist range, the artist pencils, and I kind of like them a lot. I'm going to have to do a few more pictures with them to make a final decision on what I feel about them. But so far this red is beautiful. It's not laying down super heavy. I can go in and get nice light areas, and I think if I go in a bit heavier I can get a really deep rich colour. Let's just try here. If people watching who are following along notice, I'm only colouring in this zone here, and I'm lightening out as I go because I'm getting ready, prepared to go into the next colour. Okay, Celine, hi from Belgium. Thank you very much. Sorry, once again, I apologise if I'm missing messages here. There's quite a few people in here, and I'm sort of dividing my attention between my colouring and what's popping up on the chat window. So I'm so sorry if you've got questions and I've missed them. Hubby is monitoring them to try and pick out any questions that get thrown up there. How many layers would I put on the mushroom cap when it's finished? It depends on which area. Some areas may be as dense as 6 layers, and some areas I might be happy with just 1 or 2 layers. There's usually more, no, actually 2 or 3. I never really just leave 1, 2. Oh my goodness, hubby has just informed me we have 214 people here. Hello everybody. Everybody who's come in a bit late, and everybody who's been here from the start. Hello, welcome to this first live stream. I'm glad to have you guys. This is all kind of exciting. It's kind of exciting in the way that a roller coaster ride is exciting, in that, you know, it's exciting but you're also scared to death. That would probably sum up my feelings right at the moment. I mean, I love being here. I love doing this. This is really exciting. I've been since we made the decision to go live streaming. I really look forward to it. Okay, now I'm going to go a little bit lighter here, so I'm going to move up to the Crimson Lake in the Procolour pencils. Now the equivalent pencils here. See, normally if this was a colouring video, hubby would be putting up the actual colours on the screen for me. That's what he adds to the, oh, where have I got here? Took the wrong book away. He actually adds the names of the colours to help you out there. Now, the Crimson Lake in the Procolour pencils would match the Madder in the Polychromos pencils. Okay? Yeah, that's a fairly close match. You could do that. Yeah, lots of light layers, Marie, I agree. Oh, Lee from Canada, hello. Okay, now I'm going to start off, or actually, you know what, I am going to sharpen it first, because I don't like the initial point that they've given us. Yep, chomp through that. How full is that thing? Yeah, I like these. They got the little tray that you can dispose all the sharpening. It's nice and neat. It's just very bulky to carry around, so usually when I'm traveling I just have a little sharpener with one of those little enclosed areas that catch the shavings. Okay. Right. I'm sorry about fine-tuning the video quality of this. As I said, this is a learning process for us, and it's just one of those things. I hope we get better and better as we go. Now I'm just starting to lay in some lighter colour here with the Crimson Lake. I'm going to be using it in this sort of zone here, crossing into where I've already done the plum in light colours. Now your initial layers are going to look scratchy. It's when you get to put a few more layers on that you start to get that really polished, nice look. So the initial layers, don't be too worried if it looks a bit rough, because it is only a first layer. They're all the same. As you can see, I'm doing either little circles here or cross-hatching lines to avoid getting those pencil streaky marks in the final product here, the final look. I'm dodging around all these circles now. The other alternative I could have with these is just colour over the lot of them and then just bring them all out with the white, which would be the easier way of doing it, but doing it this way instead because I just want to see if I can. It's just the way I started, so I'm just going to continue. And that's as far as I'm going to go with this colour, to about about a centimetre from the edge, which would be like 2/3 of an inch, I think. Okay. That's okay, Arena. We're not taking any offence to anything people are saying here about the quality of this video, of this live feed. We're just learning here, and it is with live feed. It's very difficult to get nice, crisp, clear video. It's sort of not the same as using my really good camera when I'm filming my tutorials and normal videos for YouTube. Sort of the quality of the camera isn't so great, and we probably can be better, but we're still learning how to fine-tune everything here, so do be patient with us. We'll do the best we can with this. We do care very much about the quality of your experience with this event, and yep, so we're working towards making it as good as we can. Okay, Elizabeth, hi from Michigan. This is, I mean, the tutorial part of this is just really something for you to watch while I'm, you know, yabbering away and answering your questions. So it's not going to be as good as watching a tutorial that I've, you know, carefully put together, and it's been edited, and I've been able to stop and assess things and take breaks. Okay, see, I'm going into a little bit of the darker colour. Okay, Janet, good night. Alrighty, you'll catch up with the rest of the video. It'll be up on YouTube pretty much soon after we end, actually. They sort of like bag it up and stick it up. Okay, Marie, also from Michigan. Okay. How many colouring books have I got? Right, so hubby's just handing me the questions in a written form. I haven't counted. Oh, an embarrassing amount. Under 100, I'll say. I do have under 100. Geez, let's see now. I tend to, there's certain people that I follow that I grab all their books. Kirby Roseanne's, his 3 big books. Didn't get the ones from, somebody has sent me one of his smaller books. Oh no, sorry, that's the wrong person. Sorry. Kirby Roseanne's, I've got his 3. They're the only 3 that he's going to produce in that format. Joanna Basford's, I'll collect hers. Millie Marotta's, I don't do much work in hers, but I love it. When I look, I want to. So I'll probably one day have a Millie Marotta kind of streak and do a lot of her stuff. Like been currently streaking with another favourite artist of mine, and that's Lizzie Mary Cullen, who produces those wonderful fish-eyed lens type drawings, very freestyle, for the Magical City and the Magical Journey and the Magical Christmas, and I love them all. And I've also got her French book and her Italian book too, because I really love those with the Inktense pencils. Oh goodness, my husband has just done a quick count. Oh my goodness. Okay, he says there are 94 colouring books. I did say under 100. So let's see.
That's only on your shelves.
That's
not
on the
including
shelves.
these.
Not including these. Okay, so we've got 95, 96, 97, 98, 98 there. And I know I've got one in one of my boxes behind, so that's 99. So it's just under 100 books I've got. That I've started collecting them over 2 years ago when my son presented me with Lizzie Mary Cullen's A Magical City, The Magical City, for a birthday present. And it was funny, he actually went into the bookshop and he didn't know which one to pick, so he sent me photos on his phone and I just picked it over the photos. And that was my first book. My second was an Angela Porter book. What was my third one? I can't remember. I started off slow anyway, and my husband actually brought home Enchanted Forest for me. He actually had a chat with a book distributor in a bookshop, you know, and she talking about she'd actually seen a video or two of mine and she gave them to me for free. So, and that was Enchanted Forest and what was the other one? It was another one of the big ones. Enchanted Forest is the one I sort of like went, oh my god, and jumped in and started colouring like crazy. I think it was actually a let me think. Wasn't an Angela Porter book. No. Can't remember. Sorry. Okay. Right, we have got 15 minutes left. Okay, and that'll give us an hour and a half. Oh, Lizzie has a Spanish book out too. I'm going to have to go looking for that. Unable to find Magical Christmas. Grace, try, if you're looking for books, I recommend the UK online booksellers, the Book Depository, and I recommend that because the prices are usually pretty good and it is free shipping worldwide. That is free shipping worldwide. Big deal for me because I'm in Australia and shipping is a fortune. I rarely buy items overseas because often the shipping price is more than the cost of the item. It's kind of ridiculous. Okay, right, Crimson Lake, that's the first layer of the Crimson Lake. I'm going to go back to the darker colour, the plum, and I'm going to start blending that in a bit from the bottom up. See, I could either do that or I could continue with the lighter pinks up here, but I will do this instead. This stuff blends like crazy, I can tell you. It's really quite pleasant experience. I can get some seamless blends with it, and some pencils, cheaper pencils, when you put one colour over the other you end up with a murky colour, but you know you've got a good quality pencil when you put one colour over the other and it makes an interesting new colour. And that's one of the reasons I suggest experiment with colours in your book and keep the results, because you'll find combinations of colours that are useful to you. Yeah, Marie Francis, I found that too, that some of the prices in the Book Depository is better than what I can get in the local shops here. It's kind of ridiculous. I can spend less money buying the same books than going down to, you know, into the city and looking in the bookshops there. I've got a habit now, if I'm looking for a book, I'll take the name down and then I'll go check up on the Book Depository to see if they've got it, and I prefer, if they've got it there at a better price, well, I'll just buy from there. Angela, that is funny. You can justify buying more colouring books because I've got more colouring books. I haven't said that. I haven't bought very many this year. The only ones I've actually bought, I got earlier on, I've got the Terry Pratchett one because I'm a big fan of Terry Pratchett. And I've got, oh dear, what else did I get? Of course got the new Hannah Curzon book. There's not many more that I've actually got. I think I've got the latest one of Joanna Basford's. I've got that on order. That's the butterfly one. I think that one comes out in October, but I've got that on pre-order through the book depository. Don't think there's anything else I've bought this year. There we go. Okay. I'm only pressing very lightly here. You might be thinking, oh, that looks very, very light, but that's only because I'm pressing. I'm hardly putting any pressure on this pencil at all. If I press harder, let's go press harder in the center, and I'll demonstrate, because it's going to be this color in the center. There we go. We've got several layers happening there. There, I'm probably pressing with medium pressure there, and it's just. And I can go over the top of that and put another layer down, and I can see it change. I can put another layer down, I'll go in a different direction. It just keeps layering and layering and layering and layering. I love it. I'm somebody who loves to work with lots of layers. I find it really relaxing. It doesn't worry me at all to go over a background 2 or 3 times, because I find it just relaxing to do that. And then the results are worth it too. There, so you can see how really dark we can get it there. Yes, that's true, Royce. I keep receipts for everything that I buy to take in when I do my tax. Because all of that is, because it's, if I claim this as a business, then all that is tax deductible. Oh, you've got a Facebook group. I'll have a look, Grace. Yeah, the books are inspiring, Angela. It's really very hard if I look through my books and, oh, I want to colour this, oh, I want to colour that. Like I said, I really want to get in and colour some of my Millie Marotta stuff. But then I love colouring in Lizzie Mary Cullen's is a real pull to me. It's very hard for me to look at those pictures and not just start. I have, oh, here's a question. How many of you guys have multiple colouring works, you know, sort of like in progress? Because I've got a few friends who, a few people I know who can only work on one at a time and can't seem to start a new piece until they finish the old piece. I'm not like that. I have probably got, or present, probably 6 or 7 different pages in different colouring books that I'm part way through. And sometimes I can narrow it down to 2 or 3, but I always sort of like spread out again. Okay, that's really nice and smooth in the centre there. So I'm usually a little bit quicker at colouring than this, but because I'm talking and looking up all the time, it's really slowed me down. See, by now I would have had this mushroom all complete and I'd be working on something else. There, I'm just bringing in this colour a little bit in so that I can blend it in. It's blending in beautifully. Okay, Grace, I love that feeling of having some books and you know they're coming. It's checking the mailbox. It's like Christmas, isn't it? Getting packages of art supplies and books. Okay, actually, another book I'm actually looking forward to seeing is I don't know if you remember the Greece colouring book by Mr. Liamantes, and I'm sorry I'm screwing his name up, a Greek gentleman. He's putting out a new one, Dogs and Cats, and that looks really cool. I like his style of work. It's sort of reminiscent of Lizzie Mary Cullen's, and that's probably a book that's on my wish list as well. He sent me his original Greek colouring book for review, but I'm not expecting him to send me the next one. It's, you know, it is expensive to send mail to this country, and so I'll probably look at the funding and see if I've got enough to reserve it on Amazon, which it's already up as a pre-order. If you guys are interested and you like the style of the Greek colouring book, I'll give a little shout out to him. sorry, Lizzie. I'm sort of. I'll try not to go so quiet. Oh, sketchbooks, Katie. Yes, I can definitely. Goodness me, sorry, stuck on this. I can. I'm right there with you. I have colouring books and sketchbooks on the go. Some of you, or maybe all of you, have been watching my Monster Girl series, which I'm sort of doing in my colouring book using my beloved, wonderful Inktense pencils, and hopefully give you a few tips on how to use Inktense pencils. I'm just showing you using that series of videos some tricks and things that you can do with Inktense to play around with and get some interesting effects in your art. I've filmed let's see, 6 of them so far, so you'll be seeing the slime girl soon, and then we have got what came after the slime girl, the Naga, and then the mermaid, and I've done the spider girl as well. So I'm up to the plant girl, and I've already got some pre-sketches for that. Hang on, I can give you a sneak preview. I think this is the book that I've done it in. This sketchbook here. This actually is a sketchbook I started in 2006, and for some reason I sort of like misplaced it or something, and I found it, and there were so many pages. Like at that stage I was only drawing on one side, and there were so many pages. It was only about like a dozen pages used, so I've gone back to using this sketchbook, which I purchased in 2006. Here we go. Here's my sketches for the plant girl. This is what I do when I'm planning a picture. I hope you can see that all right. There we go. Let's see, I put it more that way and you'll be able to see both sides. Okay. First of all, reference pictures. I look at pictures on the internet of flowers to get some ideas of how I can incorporate a female figure into a flower. I found this really interesting orchid called the Dancing Girl Orchid that actually looks like a dancing girl with a little face, and I played around with using that one, but I decided against it. I wanted something a bit different. I really like this one here. I think she's rather cute. But the one I'm probably going to do, so here's more sketches of flowers, just looking at pictures again and copying them using the Coal Erase pencils made by Prismacolor, because they're fantastic to sketch with. And I've decided to go with this one here, is probably the one you will see me sketch with. That's my process of planning, pictures beforehand. Have I got any more in here? They're all over the place. I sketched this one, which I'm going to paint because I just love it. I think it's turned out really, really good. That will probably be my insect girl when I get to it. Okay, back to colouring. I've got piles of books sitting around me here. Sort of trying to be prepared for this. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like them. Sparkle Girl videos. Well, she's talked about it. Yeah, so we will see in the future. I really can't tell you. With luck, she will sit down and do another big colouring. So, because that's rather fun. She prefers to colour with the alcohol markers, with the Sharpies. Question, Moonram, does Coal Erase pencils have any advantage over the other erasable coloured pencils? No coloured pencil I've ever come across is truly erasable unless you use it in very light layers. Now, the advantage with Coal Erase pencils, I find, is they're hard. They keep a nice sharp point to them for quite a period of time, so you don't have to keep stopping and sharpening the thing. Also, they do not smudge, so if you're wiping your hand across it or anything, or catch it, you won't. With graphite, particularly with some toothy papers, you'll get smudges everywhere. The Coal Erase don't smudge, and they do erase fairly well. I love them. Where are they? I've got them here somewhere. I bought the 24. Now, this is another advantage. Some things are just less expensive in the US, a hell of a lot less expensive in the US. So I actually bought these on Amazon, because to buy them locally, the pack of 24 is like $50. And of course, people in the US will know that the Kohler race just aren't that expensive. So it was cheaper for me to, I don't know, no, I haven't got them in here. Sorry, alright, I can't show. The Kohler race pencils, you know why I haven't got them in there? It's because they're sitting right next to me here. There we go, in my little turquoise pencil case. The Kohler race pencils are really not that expensive. So I bought them on Amazon, and even with the shipping they were a hell of a lot cheaper. And that's what they look like. They've got the rubber tips on the end, but those rubbers are rubbish. Don't use them. They're horrible. I keep a little eraser in here that I use. That's a Faber-Castell PVC-free eraser, which I find is really good. So I rub out with that. And of course I rub out with this little beauty here. This is the Derwent electric sort of battery operated eraser. If you look inside here, you've got the two AAA batteries, and that lasts a long time actually. I don't think I've ever replaced the batteries in here. And this has got the tip that you can replace. Pull it out, there's like the little loading cartridge. The actual eraser looks like that. You stick it in the cartridge, stick it in there, press the button on the top, and off you go. There you go, vibrates, it twirls and vibrates the tip. And that I use for a lot of erasing as well. Made by Derwent, and you buy packages of replacement tips. Don't use the replacement tips that come with the actual eraser. They're rubbish. For some reason they're just horrible. Throw them away. Get a set of replacement tips like they come from in the packages. They come in sets of 30, and use them instead. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm sorry Janelle, I'm trying to, we'll have to fine tune things like the sound. I'm really sorry you can't hear me. Okay, we've got 2 minutes left of our live stream. Oh my god, how do I wrap this up? I'm going to continue on with this. The next colour that I was going to go is a lighter pink and blend it in if people want to colour on their own. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming. This has been fun. As I said, this is a learning process for me, so I will continue to refine my technique for live streams, future live streams. At this present time, I don't know when we're going to have another one. I think there's an idea that we might do the same thing next Sunday, but watch out on my social media feeds. That's my Facebook feed, Instagram. I'll use Twitter next time. I think I only announced on the Twitter about 15 minutes beforehand. So just keep an eye on those feeds on La Artistino, my blog site, and I will announce any future live streams. Hopefully we'll do another one next Sunday. I'm looking at the same time because it's more convenient for me. We'll have to look at trying to arrange a live feed that's more suitable for people in the European sort of style time zones, because I know it's the middle of the night there. Anyway, last minute, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah, and thank you very much to all my patrons again. Really glad that for those of you who can make it, I really appreciate the support you give me. You make this possible because you make it so that we can afford to do things like this, buy the equipment that's necessary. And okay, right, thank you Marie, thank you everyone, and I think we're going to be off now, and that's it. Goodbye, until next time, I'll see you later, bye bye.